Hi, I'm Abbeth Russell. I'm an artist based out of Portland, Maine, and in the next few minutes I'm going to teach you how to draw daisies using colored pencils. First, I'm going to have you take out your lightest shade of gray, and this is going to be used to draw the outline of the daisy. You don't want to use black because a daisy is a very delicate flower and the black would be too harsh for an outline. So you want to have some sort of reference to look at when drawing a daisy so it doesn't end up looking like a cartoon flower. So if you don't have a fresh bouquet of daisies like I do, you can find a fake daisy or even just print out a picture from the internet. I'm going to take out one individual daisy so I don't get overwhelmed looking at this whole bouquet, and hold it so that you're looking at it kind of head on, and just so that you can see a little bit of the stem coming down. And so we're going to start out just doing a simple outline, starting with the center of the flower. You're just going to draw kind of an organic shaped circle at the center, and you're going to draw just the very top petals. You'll notice there's a lot of layers of petals in a daisy, so you're going to start out just drawing this top layer of petals that come out from the center. So I'm going to take a couple minutes to do that right now. Once you've drawn that top layer of petals, you're ready to draw the layer of petals that is beneath that top layer. And the way that you're going to give the illusion that this second layer of petals is beneath the first layer is by not actually drawing the entire petal. You're going to just kind of tuck it behind that top layer by just drawing kind of a curved V that's going to attach halfway up from the first petals that you drew there. So it might be easier to just kind of watch me do it for a few seconds than listen to me explain it in this case. All right, and you can fill in all those second layer petals. So when you're drawing a flower, keep in mind that flowers are very symmetrical, but also very kind of organically shaped. So you can have fun, don't stress about making every petal perfect, because if you look at the flower, every petal is very different. All right, so now you're gonna see that there's even yet another layer of petals beneath those top two layers, and those are just kind of peeking out a little bit. You can kind of add a few more little points coming out from behind those top two layers. All right, and the last step for drawing the initial sketch is just to give a little bit of a hint of the stem coming down from the flower. So as you can see, I did that by just drawing two slightly curved parallel lines coming down, and then we're just going to add one tiny little petal coming up there. Daisies just have this, or not a petal, a tiny little leaf coming up there. Daisies just have little tiny leaves. Okay, now it is time to color the flower in. And if you really look at the daisy, you'll see it's a bit more complex than just a green stem, a yellow center, and white petals. There's actually a lot of shading that goes into the petals. You're gonna take a little bit of a darker shade of gray, and in those areas where the petals overlap, those little V's where they overlap, you're gonna just lightly accentuate the overlapping areas. So I'm just gonna go around the whole flower and just give some light shading in those areas, and you should be doing that as well. All right, and once you've done that, you're gonna go back to your lighter gray for a few minutes, and you're gonna use that just to draw in those little ribs that happen on each petal. So all that really is just drawing a few little straight lines coming up the middle of each petal. All right, and the next step is gonna be to take a couple different shades of yellow, maybe a brown, even an olive green if you have it. And these are gonna be used to color in the center of the flower. Start with your lightest yellow and use that to color in the whole center of the flower. Just lightly shade that in. Next, you're gonna use your mid-tone brown to just give that little center brown circle that a lot of daisies have. All right, and you can use your darkest yellow to give the texture of the center of the flower. And you can either use a stippling motion, which is just a bunch of little dots all close together, or you could draw a whole bunch of tiny little circles all kind of honeycombed together to give that texture in the center of the flower. So why don't you take a minute to do that right now? All right, now you're gonna use your olive green to add a little bit of color where the petals attach to the center of the flower. All right, and the last step is gonna be to just add a little bit of color to the stem of the flower. So grab a couple shades of green and just lightly color in that stem. And you can use your shades of gray to do a little bit of shading, add a shadow right beneath the petals where the stem is connected. Do a little bit of shading on the petal. And there you go. My name is Abith Russell, and I just showed you how to use colored pencils to draw a daisy.